Thanks for joining us. 2 people are injured after a shooting at Robbinsdale's Sanborn Park on Sunday night. No one's been arrested as of Monday afternoon. Police say Sanborn Park is in a typically quiet neighborhood. It didn't look that way Sunday night. Police say shortly after 9:20 that evening, callers reported the shooting. Officers found a 19-year-old woman with a gunshot wound to her head. Later that night, officers were told that a man in his 20s showed up to Methodist Hospital with a gunshot wound that happened in Robbinsdale. No other victims were found, and witnesses were reluctant to talk. A neighbor who heard the gunshots says the scene cleared quickly. On Monday, he counted 150 evidence markers throughout the park. If you own a home, chances are you don't think too much about your water service line. It's the pipe that connects your house to the city water main. But if your house is old, it might be made from out-of-date and potentially harmful materials like lead. As Kevin Miller reports, the state has a program to replace these service lines, one that could impact homeowners in Robbinsdale.
Construction can be loud and invasive, but it's a necessary evil when replacing old pipes. It's something Robbinsdale resident Mike Schwieger has been considering for his old water service line.
Right now, we still have the old paper, tar-wrapped system coming through there. So we've been having a lot of issues with things growing in there, the roots and stuff like that.
Replacement would mean digging up his yard.
It's a big consideration about be replacing it, but the price tag behind it is really difficult to manage right now.
He's not alone. In fact, his home is one of almost 400 that were flagged in Robbinsdale for having problematic pipes. And the largest concern for Robbinsdale homeowners is service lines made from galvanized steel.
Galvanized, I think, is basically a steel kind of pipe that is dipped in a liquid material to try and improve its corrosion resistance.
According to the Minnesota Department of Health, these fairly common pipes come with hidden health risks.
The risk with those types of pipes is that if they've ever had lead upstream as the water flows through, any lead from those upstream components can then coat the inside of the galvanized pipe and stick there.
If the lead breaks loose, it can end up in your drinking water. In an effort to minimize the risk, the state has a program to work with cities and replace these steel pipes. It's a process that could take years.
Our understanding is that the state government will be funding cities to do this work, whether it be replace the entire pipe or to replace the fittings.
And even with these pipes, Robbinsdale officials say the city's water is safe to drink.
There's no risk in anyone in Robbinsdale getting bad water or lead water that's going to poison them or their family.
But if you're still worried,
they can take actions like letting the water run, always using cold water, and if they're really concerned, they could get a lead test in their drinking water.
Back at Mike's house, help from the state could keep him in Robbinsdale for the long haul.
If that is true, that would definitely be a huge consideration about staying or leaving.
In Robbinsdale, Kevin Miller, CCX News.
We'll have a link to the state's map of lead and galvanized service lines at ccxmedia.org. If you happen to see large plumes of smoke billowing out from the parks in the Three Rivers Park system over the next few weeks, don't be alarmed. It's all part of the district's prescribed burn program. Delane Cleveland followed a crew in Rogers to learn more about the process and its overall benefits.
It doesn't take much to get people out to a park on a nice day.
Max temp, 78, 8-mile-an-hour wind out of the southeast.
But at Crowhassan Park Reserve in Rogers,
this is just a perfect bluebird day. I mean, this just feels like a burn day.
Crews with the Three Rivers Park District are here for a specific purpose.
We have some amazing prairies here at the Park District, especially here at Crowhassan, and we wouldn't be able to have the quality and the size of the prairie that we have here if we didn't do the fires internally like we do.
A group of about a dozen people work in conjunction with one another to burn a specific patch of prairie.
I'm on the drip torch right now, so I'll be starting some fire.
They use a drip torch, water, and knowledge of the wind patterns to ensure things don't get out of control.
All of those people together is what it takes to put on these prescribed fires.
Prescribed fires happen every spring throughout the district. They help to get rid of invasive species and make room for native plants. This section of prairie that they're burning is about 25 acres. Officials from Three Rivers say it's important to do this to help maintain prairie habitat.
If we can get it burned up today safely, great. If we gotta put it out, that's fine.
The entire process generally lasts about an hour. Once the entire section of prairie has been burned, crews will come back in a few weeks armed with several 100 pounds of seeds.
We have a seed collection program that takes place every fall, and we'll collect hundreds of pounds of seed. We use all that in-house, and we put that back onto the prairie to enhance the prairies that we have.
In the end, this work benefits wildlife habitat and makes it a beautiful place to visit. In Rogers, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Another prescribed burn will take place early next week at Elm Creek Park Reserve in Maple Grove. Hennepin County Commissioner Jeff Lundy says he's hopeful construction on the Blue Line light rail extension will start next year. He says it comes as traffic is picking up.
I live north of 610. 610 is a parking lot at rush hour. So anybody who says there isn't rush hour anymore, go to 610.
A Republican-backed bill to pause the project until the Southwest Metro Green Line is complete has fallen short thus far in the legislative session. The Blue Line is expected to cost roughly $3 billion. According to Lundy, close to half of the funding is expected to come from the Federal Transit Administration, while most of the remaining funding would come from Hennepin County sources. An elementary school principal in Plymouth has been selected for a prestigious honor. Birchview Elementary Principal Ashley Farrington was named this year's National Distinguished Principal from Minnesota. A statement on the honor says Principal Farrington was selected for his unwavering commitment to equity and visionary leadership. He will receive the honor this fall in Washington, D.C.
The Armstrong baseball team hasn't fared that well in Northwest Suburban Conference play, but they have chalked up a few key wins against Section 6-4A opponents. They aimed for another against Hopkins. Chaz Moots has highlights.
Armstrong has knocked off Wayzata and Edina both by 5 or more runs. Hopkins came into their home game against the Falcons, winners of 2 in a row. Bottom 1, Max Lerner hit to short, play made at 2. Lerner hustles down the line to avoid the double play. That gets Frank Mauser home. The Royals went up 4-1 after 1. Top 2, runner on third, a wild pitch that skips off the turf allows Armstrong to tack on another run and cut the lead back down to 2. Hopkins answered right back in the bottom of the frame. Mauser back at the plate, hits a chopper that splits second and short. Joe Schaefer crosses home. Royals back up by 3 runs. Jump to the 4th inning now. Carl Sheeby rips one to the outfield. Chase Riddell slides in easy. Hopkins building insurance. Later in the inning, Lerner back up to bat. Quick turn, another base hit that finds its way to the outfield. Colin Frotterman trots in. Ball is off target on the way in. That allows Dylan Lindstrom to slide in. 3 runs were scored in the 4th from Hopkins. Their defense and pitching was locked in for most of the evening. The Royals pick up an 8-2 win over Armstrong. In Minnetonka, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The Totino-Grace baseball team has been on a good roll. After beating Grand Rapids Saturday morning, they took on Minnetonka in an afternoon contest. Scoreless game in the bottom of the 2nd inning when Totino-Grace catcher Tyler Ham throws down to Jake Rance at second base. He applies the tag. Ham throws out the Tonka base runner. 3rd inning, Minnetonka gets on the board. Matthew Marceau with a ball to left field that drops in. Broden Vogstrom comes in to score. Part of a big inning for the Skippers. Later, Garrett Wheeler grounds to second base. The Eagles get the out at second, but Marceau comes in to score. Minnetonka scores 4 runs in the 3rd to lead 4-0. The Eagles get a run back in the 4th inning. William Franzik draws a bases-loaded walk. DeMarco Cognetta scores to make it 4-1. Then in the 5th, with the bases loaded again, Drew Zier bounces one to 3rd. The Skippers take the out at 3rd, but that's it. Rance scores to make it 4-2. That's as close as the Eagles get, though. Minnetonka wins this one 5-2. Totino-Grace is now 11-3 on the season. The Skippers are 10-2. It's a busy week ahead for the Cooper boys volleyball team. The Hawks were looking to get back in the win column Friday. Jay Wilcox has highlights.
Cooper plays host to International School of Minnesota in a boys volleyball matchup. Cooper's Brandon Bang sets it right side to Mason Bang, who goes cross court for the kill and an early 4-2 lead. They do it with defense, too. Miles Kogler with the block, and the Hawks lead 9-6 in set number 1. They set it left side this time to Mason Bang, and he rips it down the line for the point as the Hawks keep a close lead. Brandon Bang sets it to George Robinson for the kill to make it 21-20 Cooper. They pull out a 25-22 win in the first set. Set 2, and Noah Zhang hammers it cross court for the kill as Cooper grabs the early lead. A nice dig leads to an attack for Mason Bang off the blockers as Cooper battles back, trailing it by 2 at this point. After the scramble, Cooper gets it to Robinson in the middle, and he delivers, pounding it for the point in a 21-17 Cooper lead. Kogler and Chimong Zhang are there for the block as Cooper gets the sweep over International School of Minnesota. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.